Hi, today we will be talking about the new 2020 W-4 federal tax form and how to complete it. Before we begin, please note we are not offering tax advice in this video. We are merely explaining how to properly complete this form in order for you to submit it to payroll services in an accurate form. We are not permitted to give tax advice to our clients, and we also suggest you refrain from offering tax advice to your employees because there can be unwanted repercussions from doing so. Therefore, to obtain tax advice, please contact an accountant and advise your employees to do the same. Now, on with the video. As you can see, we have the new 2020 W-4 here, and it starts off the same way as the old one, your name, your address, and how you are going to be filing your taxes, whether it be single, married filing separately, married filing jointly, or head of household. And as it says here in complete steps 2 through 4, it says complete it only if they apply to you. Otherwise, skip to step 5, okay? So if none of these steps apply to you, skip and go to step 5, okay? So let's look at step 2 and let's see what it says. It says complete the step if you hold more than one job at a time or you are married filing jointly and your spouse also works. So basically if there are 2 jobs, okay? So it says do only one of the following right here. And it suggests the easiest one first, which is going to the IRS estimator. And it is a very easy way to determine how you should fill out the rest of this form. If you go on this website, you will see it is an easy 6-step wizard. It will ask you simple questions. And at the end of each page, you will hit next, and it will move you on to the next step. And it will tell you how to complete the rest of the form. It is really quite easy. So that's why they offer it as the first option. If you do not want to use that, you can go to step B, which is doing the multiple jobs worksheet on page 3. Okay, so we're going to go to that multiple jobs worksheet. Now it says if you choose the option in step B, which is what we just read on W-4, complete this worksheet on only one W-4, not both W-4s for both jobs, only one, and it's for the highest paying job. Okay, so for this example, we're going to pretend that we have the higher paying job and we're going to go ahead and fill out this form. So for 2 jobs, it says 1. 2 jobs. If you have 2 jobs or you're married filing jointly and your spouse each have one job, find the amount from the appropriate table on page 4 using the higher paying job and the lower paying job and finding the number at the intersection. Now I know that sounds weird, but when you see it, you'll see it's very easy. So for this example, let's say we have one person making $148,000 a year, which is right here, the higher paying job, and someone making $30,000 a year. And there's a number at the intersection. It's really that simple. So that's 7,100. We're going to go ahead and input that right here, okay? Say there are 3 jobs, okay? So you have, someone has 2 jobs, the other one has 1, okay? So what you're going to do, this calculation right here, actually for step A, it's the same one as this one. So just repeat what I just did, okay? So you're going to do that. For that, it's the same calculation. But now the 3rd job comes into play, okay? So what they do is they say you're going to add these 2 salaries together. So it says add the annual wages of the 2 highest paying jobs from line 2A, okay? So the 2 highest paying jobs were, we have 148. Remember I said we had the 148 and we had 30,000. Let's say the lowest paying job was only $4,000, okay? That's here. So basically you're going to add, it's saying to add the 2 highest together, which is a total of 178,000, okay? And the lowest paying job now on the intersection. So we have 178,000. Let's find that range, which is right here. And the lowest paying job. So you remember, you added the 2 highest together to get a total, which was 178, and the lowest 3rd job right here at, say it was 4,000 a year, here is that amount, 2040, and you're going to put that right here, okay? And there we go. And then you're going to add the amounts from lines 2A and 2B and enter the result here. Okay, so it's $99,140. And then you're going to determine how many pay periods there are for the highest paying job. So it says, enter the number of pay periods per year for the highest paying job. So obviously the highest paying job here was the 148. And we're going to pretend that they get paid biweekly. A biweekly pay cycle is 26 pay periods total a year. So you're just going to enter that number right here. Okay. And just so you also know, semi-monthly, twice a month is only 24 pay periods. But for argument's sake, let's say we're going to do it on a bi-weekly basis. That's 26 pay periods. So what you're going to do is you're going to divide the annual amount on line 1, which is here, or line 2C, okay, by this number, okay? So let's say we're going to go ahead and use the $9,000 number here, and we're going to divide it by 26. That is $351.54, and it also tells you to put this number on line 4C on the first page. We're going to go ahead and put that on the first page, okay, which is right there, 4C, okay? So that's the worksheet. It's a little bit more complicated, but it's fairly easy to figure out. It's just looking at the intersection numbers, and that's it. And that's all you do for that worksheet. Now, we are going to look at C. This is also fairly easy. It says if there are only 2 jobs, you may check this box. Do the same on the W-4 for the other job as well. And it says this option is accurate for jobs with similar pay. Okay, so the pay should be relatively close together. And then all you have to do, if you want to choose that option, just check that box and you are done. You don't have to do A or B. Just go ahead and do that if that is accurate for what you're doing. Okay, so it says a little tip here. To be accurate, submit a 2020 W-4 for all other jobs. If you or your spouse have self-employment income, including as an independent contractor, use the estimator. They really want you to use this because this is very helpful, okay? So now we're going to move on to steps 3 through 4. Complete steps 3 through 4 on W-4 for only one of these jobs. Leave those steps blank for the other jobs. Your withholding will be most accurate if you complete steps 3 through 4B on Form W-4 for the highest paying job, okay? So for the highest paying job, we're still filling this out. So here are going to be your dependents. If your income will be $200,000 or less, again, for $400 or less for married filing jointly, you're going to multiply the number of qualifying children under 17. For this example, we are going to have 3 kids. So 2,000 times 3 is 6,000. We're going to put that number here. And for this example, we have used multiply the number of dependents by 5. So I said we had 2 other dependents, okay? So 500 times 2 is 1,000. You're going to add these 2 together, and there are that's your dependent amount, okay? Now step 4. It says other income not from jobs. This means interest, dividends, and retirement income, things that aren't typically taxed, okay? So this is optional. It says this is optional. You can or you don't have to fill this part out, but it is optional. So let's say I had $500 in interest for one of my accounts. I'm going to put that here, okay? Here is B, deductions. If you expect to claim deductions other than the standard deduction and want to reduce your withholding, use the deduction worksheet on page 3. Okay, so if you don't want to take the standard deduction, these are the standards right here. $24,800 if you are married filing jointly, $18,650 if you're head of household, $12,400 if you're single or married filing separately. If you think that you're going to be doing more than this and you're going to do an itemized deduction, you want to do this worksheet, okay? So they are telling you, if you're going to do this, we want you to use the deduction worksheet on page 3, which is what I just showed you, and we're going to do that worksheet together. So here is your deductions worksheet. So enter an estimate of your 2020 itemized deductions. Okay, so if you're itemizing your deductions, say you have a property and you have interest, you have a home mortgage interest, and you're going to be writing that off, and you're definitely going to have more than this amount for married filing jointly, you're going to say, I think I'm going to have more than this, and this is what I think it's going to be. So for this example, I said, hey, we're going to have more than that. So we're going to have about $27,000 of deductions. They're saying, enter an estimate of those deductions. So you're going to put that number here. Then it says, enter one of these three that apply to you. Okay, so again, we're married filing jointly on this form, right? So we're going to take the $24,800, put it here, and here is the difference right here. If line 1 is greater than line 2, subtract line 1 from line 2 from line 1, and you're going to enter that difference here. And here it says enter an estimate of your student loans, deductible IRA contributions, and other adjustments that you may have. For this example, I chose, say I had $100 in student interest loans. I put that number here. Then you're going to add 3 and 4 together, and there's your total. So that's how you do your worksheet. And then it says to take this total and enter it on 4B back on the first page. Okay, and there it is. So there again, that's how you fill out this form. And then once you're done filling this out, you're going to have them sign this, and then you will send this to payroll services, and we'll be more than happy to enter these amounts for you for your employee. That is it. I hope that this was very helpful. You have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.